Welcome to Good Morning Sibos. I'm Nadine Dereza.
And I'm Chia. It is Tuesday, the 27th of September, our second day here in beautiful Geneva. And you know what? I've been doing a bit of research on Switzerland, and there's some interesting bits of trivia. For instance, do you know that if you wanted to own a pet, you can't just have one? You can't have one pig, one dog.
You have to have multiple.
You have to have two, because they feel that if it's just one, it's abuse because they're in isolation.
Yes.
And you have to go for a course to learn how to take care of your pets.
I'm glad you've been using your time wisely.
I mean, wisely,
here.
exactly.
So pleased we exported you over from Singapore for that.
Other than all the cybercrime issues we've been talking about, I thought a bit of trivia might. But there's lots.
Excellent. And for the next half hour, you're right here with us for Good Morning Sibos. He'll come back with us in a moment as we preview the day to come at Sibos 2016. We also have had our cameras out and about in Geneva, not looking at pets, although we should do, to bring you special insights into what this city has to offer. And Stephen, today, we're on the water.
That's right. You had a chance to take a look at that, and I think the weather is holding out, so if you have a chance, do make a visit.
All I'll say is largest fountain in the world.
You can see it from far away. At 10 o'clock, we'll have Talking Sibos. Nadine will be down on the exhibition floor visiting InnoTrime. That's another space people have to check out.
Indeed, I will be there. Looking forward to that. So if you see me, don't ignore me. Come and have a chat. You can have global fame as I interview about the innovations that are going on at InnoTrime. And later on at 11:30, we'll bring you the big issue debate. And today, there's a session on financial stability, the future of global finance.
At 1 p.m., we're back for lunch with Sibos, including a preview of a major session here today, Cybersecurity, Catching the Bad Guys. I love that title.
Yes, someone's got to.
Yeah.
At 3 p.m, join us for Sibos Today, where every day we feature the big interview, and I can barely read this out now. Today, that's with European footballing legend, I'm just having a moment here, Kevin Keegan. Yes, a huge sports star, particularly in the UK and Germany. Of course, I'm his #1 fan. And now an expert speaker on leadership and motivation too.
I'm just giving you a moment there to savor it all in. So do stay tuned for that. But first, the very important matter of the Sibos Quiz Show, a question of finance. Down there on the exhibition floor yesterday, there was a fierce battle of intellect.
Yes, and joining us here is the quizmaster, friend of the show, Julia Street, CEO and founder of Streets Consulting, as we know, banker by day, comedian by night. I think you're just a comedian all the time, actually, Julia.
It never ends. It never stops.
And Julia, lovely to have you here.
Thank you very
much. You've brought back your jacket.
The jacket gets dusted off every year. It's a pleasure to wear it. I only wear it at Sibos. It's great. It's a part of a packing routine.
Yes.
So when it comes out, you know you're ready for Sibos.
That's right.
So how was the quiz, first of all?
Well, it was keenly fought, I think, is probably the best way to describe it. There was there's a bit of a margin, but at the end it just narrowed and narrowed and narrowed,
right.
and the final scores were 48-64. So actually, when it came down to how the scoring worked, it got quite tense at the end. Actually, it was fun.
And we've got the winners in the studio.
Here they are, with their trophies.
Look at that. How proud are you, chaps?
It's been a moment I've been building up for my whole life, and I'm really proud to have achieved it.
So sincerely said.
You need a jacket, a special jacket for the next year when you come back for the quiz.
Maybe a sparkly one as well.
See what we could do.
But gentlemen, tell us. I mean, Michael, perhaps you can show how tough was the quiz?
I thought it was very, very fun, very balanced. Obviously, we were a dream team. That was the bit. But it's just practice, guys. Constant practice. That's what does it, isn't it?
Yeah. Well, can you give us an example of one of the harder questions? Try it out on us.
Swift.
What does SWIFT stand for?
What does cyber stand for?
Yes, that's the other one.
Swift
yes.
International Banking Operations Seminar.
Hey, give him another trophy.
There you go.
You can keep that.
I can.
But it wasn't just fun, although it is always fun. I know there's an educational aspect to all of this as well, isn't there?
So it's partly a kind of celebration of the work that the Swift Institute do. So it's about, some of the questions actually were about the Institute, and they've now given out 22 grants. One of the questions was about the value of each grant is €15,000. And the wonderful thing that Swift Institute do is they bring the academics together with the banking community. Mm-hmm. So each team had an academic that's represented here this morning. You can feel the heat, actually, can't you? From
We're not worthy.
Quite. And it's that blend of academia and also sort of practical implementation from the banks that brings it together. So it's actually, all credit to Peter Ware. It's his concept. He said, let's breathe a bit of life to it. thing I love about it is that everybody puts away all the serious stuff and they actually really have a go at it. And put a buzzer in front of anybody.
Yeah.
I defy them
Well, we
not
got
to
some
press
footage
it.
from the
Yes.
from the quiz yesterday. We're going to roll it as we talk, but it just gives people an idea of what it was set up like. I mean,
Yeah.
with the buzzer, you just
Seriously.
right? It's just.
Buzzers and microphones and anyone.
We can see you again with your jacket. It looks very competitive down there, but friendly fire, was it, would you
Was it
say?
friendly fire?
I think it was friendly fire from the start.
Yes.
We were all in the same boat.
Yeah.
That's right. We stopped rolling at the end, so I'm not sure if there was food thrown about or things like that. But
So what will this mean to you, this trophy? Is it the best moment of your life?
I think it's right up there. You know,
For me, it's second best to appearing on Sibos TV.
oh, he's saying, no wonder you guys won. He's saying all the right things. But I guess the quiz, Julia, as well, is a great opportunity to sort of mix the serious with the lighthearted and bring in that educational aspect. So you're sort of creating awareness without really saying it at all.
I'm a big believer in this, which is about sort of when you bring comedy into business. First of all, it makes business much more attractive. You know, people do business with people they like. If people are having a good time, you don't have to be 100% serious all the time. And one of the great things about, you know, here at Sibos, everybody's networking, everybody's having a great time. And that's when business gets done. You know, it doesn't have to be across a boardroom table. And I think when it comes to talking about the great work, again, the Institute does, and then also we're right next to Inner Tribe and the innovation, so I'm really thrilled you're going down there because it's a phenomenal space. It's just ways of getting the message out without having to go, here are 3 key points
Yeah.
Yes.
that we're going to bleat on about
Yeah,
until
yeah.
they ram home. So
And how much preparation do you have to put into it? Michael, I'm sure you swat at night, every night.
Completely, yeah. I think the official Swift history, all 42 volumes, is a crucial component.
Did you write it?
If only. No, I think what was really good about it was the breadth. There was no way really to prepare for it. You just had to roll up and do it. And I think the breadth also emphasizes, you know, what Sibos is about, which is connecting a lot of people, a lot of things around the world, and it did it on intellectual topics as well. It was good fun.
And for Damien and Brian as well, come on, how much preparation did you do?
Not enough.
Well, you could have got an even higher score.
Absolutely. No, we fumbled a few points, didn't we? Remembering
we did.
the NZ index and remembering what Swift stood for was a little bit embarrassing. I said, that's my question, I'm going to take that. And
We got there though.
we got
Well-
there. We got there.
You know what? How about we give you a bit of a pop quiz now? Because I've got more trivia.
Go for it.
Okay, that is one. The International Red Cross was founded here in Geneva in 1863. There is a strong similarity between the flags of the Red Cross and the Swiss flag.
True or false?
So what is it? What is it? Yeah, but what is that?
Inverted.
Exactly. Very good, very
how
good.
many pets can you have in Switzerland? No odd numbers. Presumably no odd numbers.
Yes, no odd
Because
numbers.
if you have 3, then you'll be in trouble.
You're going to put that into your quiz next year, aren't
next
you?
year.
Going right in there.
Location-based questions, you see, depending on where next year's
help me write
Toronto.
it.
So.
So are you going to come back next year to defend the title, or are you going to sort of retire in a blaze of glory?
I think we probably will go out at the top. We have worked hard, I think. But it's an opportunity to give someone else the experience, I think, of
Well,
having
We all
some fun,
struggle.
meeting some new people,
Right.
and you know, right from the outset, Peter and his team at Swift did a really nice job of bringing us all together. And I think
What was that question we struggled with? Generation X, Generation Z. We missed Y.
It was
so-
Y, yeah,
But I think we're
Generation Y,
sort of
we're talking
Generation M or something. So time to retire.
That's what you should all do. You should come back next year, but each of you have your own team
Yes.
with your young protégés.
this has just got so
No.
much fun.
Julia, we're making your life hard. But we're here at Sibos. The quiz, as much as we love it, is behind us now. We've got so much to look forward to. So if I can ask you all, what are you going to be doing for the rest of Sibos? Maybe today, pick up our highlight. Michael, first to you.
Well, I'm afraid I'm on several times today on various sessions to do with, of all things, standards. For those who are here who want to learn how to play the kazoo, go down to the standard stand at
The
9:30.
kazoo.
The kazoo. We're talking about harmony, rhythm, and melody in standards. So
Are we, darling? Yes.
it should be kind of fun
So it
and
should be
interesting.
music to your ears.
Yeah.
Damien.
So I'll be paying Michael a visit now then to learn the kazoo. Yesterday was really successful. A lot of meetings, a lot of understanding what's going on in the technology. I'm particularly interested in the fraud space. So I've been doing some work there and be continuing that through.
And I think
Brian?
I'll be going to the Julia Yule session.
Thank
Around-
you. One person in.
Yeah.
And I think the whole theme of cybersecurity is such a growing component in security is something that I think is really taking the focus this week for me.
So a busy timetable. And Julia, you've got your work cut
I'm
out.
off right now, literally right now,
That's
to go and chair
Yes.
the Culture of Security panel in conference room 2.
Okay.
Well,
Maybe quickly tell us a bit more about the session and what you expect.
Yeah, so partly it's about technology, so cybersecurity, using tools, etc., and the technology and how that's adapted. But actually, a lot of it's to do with the culture of organisations. How do large organisations basically galvanise their employees to think about their culpability and their involvement in cybersecurity protection?
So wow, so that's a fantastic
good one.
session.
Big
So
take on it.
good luck with that. I
Thank
know
you
it's going to
very
go
much.
well. And thank you so much for coming along today. We love
right.
you all. Don't lose those trophies, okay? Take them to bed with you at night so you know where they are.
All right, thanks a lot, guys.
Thanks so much.
Well, every day here on Sibos TV, we are bringing you ideas of things to do outside of the conference. And after business sessions and meetings are done, what better way to kick back, spend a few hours, than to head out to the city's famous lake, where this lovely lady had a chance to take our cameras to. Take a look.
Geneva is famous for its lake. And down by the waterfront, there's always plenty to see and do. One of Geneva's landmarks that you cannot miss is the Jet d'eau fountain. Now, you may have seen it as you were flying in. If you want the numbers, you're looking at 500 litres of water per second, reaching a height of 140 metres, making it the world's highest fountain. Although the water isn't just for looking at. If you're feeling active, then there's plenty of options for enjoying the lake. Tropical Corner offers lessons and facilities for all sorts of activities, whether you're experienced on the water or a first-timer. There's also a comfortable spot to watch other people having fun.
Besides going on the water for windsurfing or stand-up paddling, people can come here just to enjoy the place. Another reason for people to come here is that we've got the best sunset of the city. It's really nice to watch with a little glass of wine and just enjoy the end of the day in a cool place.
You don't have to get wet to enjoy the water, though lunch aboard one of the Belle Epoque steamboats has to be one of the most laid-back ways of crossing the water while enjoying a delicious lunch and watching the scenery go by.
And welcome back to the show. So that was lovely. I mean,
Yeah.
you must have had a beautiful day when you were out there.
It was stunning weather,
Yeah.
and obviously Geneva, it's all about mountains, lakes and water. So if you've got a moment, whether it's the Belle Epoque or just seeing the fountain, that's an extraordinary feat. It's beautiful to see wherever you are in Geneva.
I was told that you can actually take a cruise, a 20-minute ride across the lake to France and back. I think so not too long a trip as well. Well, let's move on to the business of the day. We're joined as ever on Good Morning Sibos by the editor of Sibos Issues, Chris Hall. Also here to offer his insights is Tom Grunfeld, a contributor to Forbes magazine. Good morning, gentlemen.
Welcome, gentlemen. Now, before we get into the nitty-gritty of what you've been reporting about, it's about networking as well. So, Tom, were you out and about last night?
Yes, Ben Robinson from Temenos invited me to join him and a bunch of startups that Temenos is working with for beer and pizza, La Scandale, which didn't turn out to be all that scandalous, but was really good, really good pizza.
Sounds like a good night as
It
well.
was,
Did you
yes.
learn anything new? Did you pick up any insider tips?
I got some people I want to keep in touch with and follow as they move along in their companies.
Yeah, and how about you, Chris?
Yeah.
Well, I had to do my networking during the day, really, because we're putting the magazine to bed during the evening. So while Tom's talking to fintechs, I'm talking to printers.
Yes.
But so during the day, I wandered around a lot. I had a quick chat with some of the regional startup challenge winners. This year, Swift did a Latin American one and an African one, and some of the winners are over at the kind of Inner Tribe satellite stand just behind you guys. And so they're here all week. And they're just kind of explaining, about their solutions, about their plans, and I think they're talking in the Inner Tribe today and tomorrow as well.
Right, so if folks have a chance, they should pop by and visit and have a chat with them.
And it was good to hear that Chris was working last night. We were checking, you see.
Whether you'd gone to any scandalous places as well, But Tom, I mean, there's only been one day so far, but what's jumped out at you, anything that of particular interest so far?
That is typical Sibos. I walked in and went to Inner Tribe and then realized it was 9 o'clock and I wanted to catch Michael Manelli talking about blockchain. He was already sold out, so I had to catch him in the overflow room.
The relay room.
Yes, and listen to him talk about blockchain. And one of the things that really struck me about him is that he kind of demystifies blockchain. He said, we've been doing this for 15 or 20 years. We've done 250 or 200, I think. You've got 30 or 40 running in a variety of industries. So unfortunately, when I started talking to him a few minutes ago about blockchain, it turns out that a lot of my understanding was completely wrong. So I would have to go catch him.
You're not alone. I had a good chat with Michael, and in fact, I learned so much. But I think it's interesting to see, he was saying what people think it is and what it actually is, and sometimes not exactly the same thing,
And it'd be interesting to know, are you going to be reporting on that in Forbes magazine?
I am, and Accenture is announcing an editable version of blockchain, which is arousing a lot of concern. Michael says some of this stuff isn't really new. That's just called a database, and that's been around since the 1970s. So talking to Michael sort of makes me realize the depth of my ignorance. I'm going to trod very carefully on this area.
Michael is the oracle, isn't it?
It really is.
How about Chris, for you? What do you think the highlights of yesterday were? I mean, you've been covering pretty much all the ground. You've got a team of reporters, haven't you?
Yes, we've been spreading across all the different streams. I guess obviously, cybersecurity issues were very much centre stage in the plenary, but I think what you'll find is that it kind of crops up in a lot of different spaces, similar to blockchain actually, because there's particular sessions on blockchain and correspondent banking and the CSD space. So there's kind of a lot of common themes that kind of pop up throughout the week, and cybercrime, machine intelligence are ones that we kind of see them applying to different areas of the industry. So they're kind of constant running themes that I think we'll find out more about throughout the week.
In fact, if you want to perhaps draw our attention to, because I believe in this issue of Sibos, there is quite a large article related to cybercrime, is that right?
Yes. Yes, well, we're previewing the today's big issue debate. I think it's this afternoon, where one of the interesting things about it is that it's quite a kind of... Although we've got the head of information security at Standard Chartered, she's actually has a lot of experience from outside the industry. She's previously at Symantec, and the other speakers are also they're not restricted to the finance sector. So there's an academic from Georgetown University.
Right.
So it's a perspective that we might previously. A broader perspective than purely looking at their banks.
And that's such a good idea, isn't it? Because it's so easy just to get people from within the financial services industry and not look further afield, because you're missing a trick then, aren't you? If you're not getting that expertise from other industries who have got some great ideas and sharing that collaboration. So do you get a sense that's a trend going forward now, looking externally beyond the financial services industry to other industries looking at best practice?
I think so. I mean, I think it's the finance industry does very often kind of set itself apart, think of it as different from other sectors. In a lot of ways, it is. But that doesn't mean that you can't learn from academia, learn from the way this kind of supply chain issues that massive global corporates have been struggling with and overcoming for years.
I mean, a good example is blockchain, because when I was speaking to Michael, he was saying actually the finance industry is not really the first mover on that. I mean, several other industries have taken the lead and gone further with that as well, so it's interesting. But Tom, you've also written recently about mobile apps, and technology is so much a big part of the entire scheme of things today. what was it in that article that you felt would, sort of a shape, or why did you bring that article to light in the first place?
Which article?
Oh, sorry, I mean one of the many you've written.
Well,
but technology in a way, and mobile apps, is it significant, the fact that we're having it all in our smartphones today? How significant is that to the industry and to the end user?
Well, I think it's significant to the industry, and it's not just your iPhone and a personal app. I think Sibos had this 5 or 6 years ago. People were developing treasury apps because treasurers want to be able to move around, or they want to be able to approve things when they're on the road. So a lot of enterprise apps have been moving to mobile, and that's been going on for quite a while, I think.
And Tom, what are you looking forward to today? What's on your agenda?
I want to find out a little bit more about blockchain so I can fill in some of these gaps. And then I want to take a look at some of the security concerns. I sat in on a session at the Swift Labs yesterday with an MIT data scientist talking about combining artificial intelligence with personal analysts and doing a feedback loop and rebuilding the model every night to take advantage of the personal knowledge. So that was a really interesting idea of how to combine human intelligence with artificial intelligence.
And do you think that's possibly a solution for cyber security? Because obviously after the attack on the Central Bank of Bangladesh, that was a game changer really, wasn't it, for the industry? Is that something that you've been following?
It's one solution. I mean, they're able to do some predictive analytics on attacks. And then I think a lot of it is also just building up really good security around, and also resilience, being able to recover.
Yeah. And Chris, from your point of view, that game changer, cyber security, this is something on everybody's mind at the moment. It really was a big wake-up call, and the problem's not going away, is it?
No, and I think I think most people recognise that it's a kind of it's pretty much a kind of permanent part of the landscape, really. That banks will have to keep developing their strategies, keep looking at what new technology can provide, but bearing in mind that humans need to make the decisions as well. I think it's an ongoing challenge that it certainly isn't going away. But I think also everyone within the kind of banks have known that quite what a challenge it's been for some time, because everyone's been everyone gets attacked, but it's just that kind of information sharing that I think, in kind of being slightly more kind of open about the problem that's changed in the last couple of years.
And I think it's interesting. You've raised a point about how very often it's human error that's still the weak spot. We can have all the technology, but if you press the wrong button or you choose the wrong option, and then it all falls through. So we're going to be having a bit more of a chat about that with some of our guests later on the show as well.
And we're looking forward to seeing you again later on as well in the week. So thank you very much for your time today. Fascinating. Now, one of the fun bits about travelling is actually finding something to take back with you. And earlier on, I went down into the city on a mission to investigate something guaranteed to put a smile on the faces of your friends and loved ones back home. What can it be?
Let's find out.
If Switzerland is famous for anything, it's chocolate. Clearly something we needed to investigate, and in depth. It's fair to say that Switzerland is the home of fine chocolate. But there are a few places that are extra special. And Chocolaterie Pascuit is one of them.
Depuis 2003, ça fait maintenant 13 ans que je suis établi à Carouge, dans ce laboratoire. Donc les chocolats, ma spécialité, c'est les chocolats noirs, les chocolats à base d'infusion et à base de fruits, c'est ce qui fait ma différence entre mes autres collègues. Donc les clients qui vont venir dans ma boutique vont trouver de la tablette de chocolat, aux bonbons de chocolat comme ceci, aux moelleux au chocolat, aux petites amandes enrobées de chocolat, aux pistaches, aux gros carreaux de chocolat avec des noisettes ou des amandes, voilà, tous les produits qu'on peut trouver dans la boutique. Y compris des chocolats à l'alcool aussi, pour les amateurs. Voilà, c'est assez varié. Les gens ressortent avec le sourire quand ils sortent de notre boutique, en fait. Voilà, on fait plaisir aux gens.
From the simple to the outlandish, you can't taste with your eyes, so always try before you buy. chocolate heaven.
No,
and last year, you bought me some bangles.
I know,
in
from Little
Singapore,
India, that's right.
And I'm so grateful. So I decided to buy you something. And before I give it to you, chocolate is my favourite thing. I'm 95% chocolate if you squeeze me. So I've been holding on to this present for the last 2 weeks. And the willpower not to eat anything has been extraordinary. It's a world record. So, Stephen, this is how much I love you.
Oh, thank you so much.
And that's from our chocolatier that we featured, Pasqui. They are finest chocolates in Switzerland.
I love chocolates too, so thank you very much.
Are you going to share them with me?
No.
Okay.
No. After the show, we'll have... I thought I was going to share with everyone now. Okay, let's get back to business. Let's look ahead to, in more detail, to some of the sessions coming up here at Sibos today. To do that, we're also joined now by Professor Marco Gerk, Director of the Cybercrime Research Institute and international expert in the field of law related to cybercrime and cybersecurity. Marco, welcome.
Thank you very
welcome
much.
to you. So what's your session going to be about?
Well, cybersecurity, obviously, this is made it to the presidential debate yesterday as one of the big topics. It's highly relevant. We're going to look into some of the approaches that the companies are taking, some of the challenges they're facing, and also what can law enforcement do to solve the problem. So there is a diverse field, and I guess it's going to be a very interesting panel.
And I'd imagine sold out as well. There'll be plenty of people in the overspill, the relay room.
Yeah, so it's got really interesting people. We've got the director of Europol, so one of the insiders on fighting this kind of crime. It was really exciting.
Yeah.
So,
I can proudly say that for Interpol, the cybercrime unit is headquartered in Singapore, the global cybercrime unit. So it's quite,
close to your heart.
Yeah, just a bit of trivia. But I've been trying to beef myself up because you are featured in this issue of Sibos, and you're talking about cybercrime as well. And I came across that term phishing. Am I saying correctly?
Phishing.
Yes. Phishing with with a V.
No, PH.
with a PH.
PH.
Oh, with a P, but there's also another one, voice phishing.
Yeah. So there are two things.
Is it
So
different?
phishing was a big challenge, or is a big challenge for the financial industry. That's people sending out emails looking like emails coming from a financial institution, asking you for password. And there are various forms of this. There is also different forms of verification. So passwords are obviously the one you would detect through phishing. And then there is also the voice recognition, so that people are trying to record your voice. So there are various aspects of this. And it's always continuing. I think that's one of the most important things to realize. It will never stop. You can never be say, okay, now I know how the criminals are acting, and now I can focus on the defense. No, every day something.
I thought this was really interesting because it was more about you saying that, it's not just you send an email and they follow it up with a phone call, so it becomes more authentic. And I recall seeing once there was a reporter who said, I'll show you how easy it is for me to break into your Gmail account. And with the guy sitting there, she called up the helpline and said, I'm his wife and I've locked out the password, I can't get it. And then she played a sound of the baby crying and my kids are crying. And within minutes, she was in.
Yeah, social engineering is one of the key components. So we have very good technology, developed very good technology in the last 20 years. The technology is really good, works, but the people are open to manipulations. And this social engineering, where you're trying to manipulate the people, is highly successful.
Is that the weakest spot?
I think
are we the weak spot?
So in the old days, like go back 30 years, the machines were the weak part, and we were actually better than the machines. Now the machines are much better, but the people operating them are making the mistakes. And if somebody's calling your secretary, or you're calling your secretary, asking her, can you give me the password? Probably she would. So if somebody's imitating your voice, that's how they could get it.
But there are so many different tactics, aren't there, for malicious wrongdoers. How can you keep, ahead of the game?
Yeah, basically you can't. So there was always the assumption that if I put 100% on prevention, I'm going to be safe. And the companies now realized even if I put 100% on prevention, there is a need for detection. I need to detect that something is happening because I have to accept that I can be hacked, somebody can be in my system. So I need to have detection instruments and then a recovery plan. So a lot of them never focus on recovery. They said, I have an antivirus, I have a firewall, so I do everything on prevention. Why should I focus on recovery?
And one of the things I'm getting is that the message sharing is not quick enough at the moment. So in order for the community to get on top of some of these malicious hackers, the phishing, it's got to be quicker by the whole of the financial community. Would you share that point of view?
You have a hole full of financial industry players. Basically, all of them are affected. Do they share? I mean, they talk to each other here, but do they share? and a lot of them say, no, we can't do this because this is really our top secret information. No, they're not. To share something, this is the attack pattern. It's something you can share with everybody. We just need to get this culture of talking about it. And it was, in other industry, it works. The retail industry in the US, after some devastating attacks, they started speaking and exchange information. And if you would introduce something like this in the financial industry, that would be something that would really help.
Fascinating.
Wow.
Well, thank you, Marco.
That session's going to be amazing.
We've just had a
it?
glimpse of what could be discussed at the session. So, folks, if you have a chance, you want to make a visit to that.
So, that was good morning.
Just sorry, very quickly, Marco, your session will be...
Session will start at 2 o'clock.
2 o'clock today?
Yes.
2 o'clock today. Put it in your diary. Thank you very much. And that was Good Morning Sibos for this Tuesday. Thank you so much for watching. We're back with more guests and Sibos talk throughout the day, previewing all the big conference sessions.
And straight after this program, Sibos TV coverage of building a culture of security from Conference Room 2. We'll see you again soon at 10 o'clock for Talking Sibos.
See you.